Hey YouTube, it's J Cutt here. First of all, happy Earth Day. You know, let me tell you about timing. So this drawing, I drew it literally last year for Earth Day. And well, okay, it's a lot of things about this, okay? This drawing actually was a challenge last year from, oh gosh, I forgot the name of the artist. This artist right here, he's amazing. And I don't know what it is. Every time he does a challenge, I'm like, I'm doing it. I don't know why. I mean, everyone does a challenge, but yet for him, I do it every time. He's an amazing artist. And he had this like, draw your window. So he had different people's characters sitting inside of their window. And I'm like, you know, cause we were all indoor, but it was unique for me cause it was like, all right, we're indoor, but Earth Day is about kind of outside, being outside, right? And I'm like, So I'm like, all right, well, you put plants in your house, you bring your plants inside, you bring the outside in, you know what I'm trying to say? But the reason why it's so unique is because I'm doing a Kickstarter. And this piece, you know, I usually draw pieces and I'll put it on products or I'll put it on different things. And I'm like, I don't know why that one never made, even though I planned to put it out there, put it on a shirt or do something with it. It just never happens because it was meant for this book. Also, I got it back here. Boop, 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 as a picture frame, but I don't even have it as a poster on my website. Like, it's been really exclusive. It's because it was meant for this book. It's also inside the middle, somewhere, right here, next to Michael. I don't know. But anyway, placement may not be the same, but anyway, right in the middle, trying to turn it the right way, right in the middle. So definitely a very unique piece that was perfect for this book. So remember, this is a Kickstarter. I need you guys' help. Before we even get started with anything, I need support. Remember, this is the early bird. So we got like a week, less than a week and a half to do the early bird. So you want to get in there because the book is even cheaper at this time to help support. So of course you can still support after the early bird, but I'm trying to help you out, okay? So let's get started. So, okay, so I knew what the challenge was, right? So I already knew like, okay, it's a window and my character, that was like the challenge. So I already knew I had to do something, but I was like, all right, I have brick inside and outside, but like there's brick behind me here, but there's also brick on this wall on the outside. So I was like, okay, well, let me draw my character sitting like kind of resting in the window. And I knew I like plants. I got more plants now maybe than I did at that time. But I like plants. So I was like, all right, well, let's put plants, you know, in the background, like in the window. And then also like vines coming down the wall. So it was a whole like idea. But then I was debating, okay, do I sketch this like the sketchy pencil look, or do I go the typical inking look, which I like to go to, one, because I like that clean look, and also it's a little bit faster. It's my go-to look. But for this, I was like, you know what? I need texture. I need it to have some texture. So I decided to do penciling. So the eyes, the eyebrows, just the eyes and the eyebrows, kind of the nose, but not really. It's symmetrical. I just made that symmetrical using the tool just to make it like really clean, but everything else is not symmetrical. And you could just see me going in, adding that little details and kind of a little bit of a shading situation with the pencil. You know, it's an Apple pencil, but with the pencil texture. And yeah, I was just like, boom, let's get this thing going. Because the thing is, with texture, you have to really, like, especially when it comes like to the hair and stuff, you know, it's really about playing with deciding how much texture you're going to do with the pencil and how much texture you're going to do later on when you do the shading and the coloring. So just finding that balance and just deciding where am I going to go. So you can see I made the frame. I don't know if my window looks like that on the outside, but anyway, that's what I did here. So when it comes to patterns or things like that, like brick, there's a point. Am I going to draw every single brick? Am I going, like, what's happening here? So I drew a pattern of a brick and I decided to place it, but I could have filled the whole thing, but I felt it was cooler by having like patches of brick. I don't know, I don't think my wall's like that, but I thought that would be pretty cool. And then in the spring, there's like vines growing down on the outside, and I love that. So I was like, oh, let me bring that to the drawing as well. So it was just really cool thing. And first of all, this music that's in the background, Asteknight killed it. So it's funny, we planned this for a while, like, all right, we're gonna need some dope music for this because there's a mood, there's a vibe. There's a vibe in this picture, which means the music gotta match this vibe. Okay? The music gotta match the vibe. But he knew exactly what vibe. So like, there's the music, okay, every music has a time of day feeling. Most of the time, his music has more of a nighttime feeling, like it feels like you're on a highway, an empty highway, and you just drive into the city or away from the city. That's the feeling he has on average with his music. He can break out of it, but that's like his go-to. But for this one, it's that golden hour where the sun is like at its very pretty golden, right before it's like too dark, and before it's too orangey. It's like right before that. It's a perfect time. So there's a mood, and I think he captured it so well in the music. So that's what we brought here. Now you can see me going in. All right, I did a little bit of a cheat because this plant that's right on the bottom right corner of the window, I actually drew it in a drawing I did a while ago. I'll show you right here. And I was like, I mean, it's already done. I mean, and I was like, even when I drew it then, I was like, oh, excuse me, trying to put the details in the plant. So I decided to just bring it over. I think I only brought it once. I don't think I duplicated it. Oh, you might see a little bit in the background. And then I just made sure I brought that same level of detail with all the other plants as well. So it was just a lot of fun just doing different hanging plants and different things in the background, just filling up that negative space. Actually, just as I'm thinking about this, I didn't even think about this before, but I remember doing a drawing back in the day when in high school. It was my senior year, and I drew a face, and then it was just like a face, and she was like, well, what about the negative space, like around it? Because there's like the drawing, and then there's all this negative space, like it was a background or anything. Especially back in the day, I wasn't doing all that. I was just drawing whatever was right or felt right. And I was like, all right, it was a challenge to me, and I was like, you know what? How about the negative space inside the face? I was doing too much, but it was at that time you could not have told me that wasn't the best drawing. You could not have told me. Anyway, so hopefully I found it. I probably already just posted it, and if I didn't, it's because I couldn't find it. It's an old one, but I think I know where I can find it, so hopefully I already posted it. So anyway, so now I'm going in and filling in the color, and you can see I was like, do I go with like that deep forest green, like it's a forest inside? I was kind of leaning that direction, which would have been cool, but it was doing too much. It was overkill. So I decided, all right, let's just make it the plants, because I wanted to feel like I'm almost in a jungle in my home, which is kind of cool, but it just was doing too much. So I just decided to let it be more focused into that. And you can see me, I made it white because I think it's actually white here, but I was like, oh, it looked tacky on the thing. So I was like, all right, let's fix that. And now I'm glad I did it, but I was struggling with when light goes through trees and you see the shadow of the tree. It used to be a tree right here that I love because it made my apartment feel like a tree house. It really felt like a tree house. I woke up one morning, that tree was gone. I was so upset. That tree. Anyway, so it felt like that. So you could see me, so at that time that was there. So that's why you would see the shadows, and I come back to that a little later on. Anyway, I add the colors here to the vines. I add the colors to the brick, and it was just like deciding like what's too much, is it too heavy? So right here you can see it's more of a base color, and then later on I start deciding what's too heavy, what's not heavy enough. Now a color palette is important, y'all. So once I knew like what my colors were, it wasn't hard to decide where everything goes. Like I knew I wanted warm colors. I knew I wanted browns, reddish, that rustic reddish orange, like a green, but even you can see the green is kind of tealish right now. I don't know if I changed that, but just kind of following like what is that color and let it go throughout the whole piece. And then now you can see I already did the shadows for the character, and I think, yep, and I did it for the plant. So now I'm adding in the highlights. Like, all right, where are the highlights? Where are the, so obviously the light is coming from the top right, which like directly top right. So I knew anything opposite for the shadows will be on the opposite side. So, and you can see that happen like with the window. So you see I came back and was all right, let me do it this way. And I think I hit it a little bit better with the shadowing. And now this lighting, that's what's really bringing this whole thing forward. Like that's what's really pushing this design. And I went back, added some more highlights to the vines. And yeah, now you're gonna see a moment where I start changing the colors up, because when I was deciding if I wanted to put this on a shirt or something cool, I wanted different versions of the pots being all the same color and things like that. So you'll see that happen pretty soon. I also decided to erase a little bit of the highlight, so that light came in, but it kind of washed out some of the dark. So I came in and just erased a little bit of that highlights in the darks. You can see me adding some toning colors in, making it a little bit more purplish blue in the corner, a little bit more orangey yellow in the top right. And yes, I think, is it happening now? Let me see. I think it's happening now where, yep. So this one I was like, it's really transparent, it looks black, but it's really transparent because I'm like, all right, if I'm using this for a shirt or if I'm using this for a poster, how can I, but it never happened. But you see I made like a gold version of the pots, and then I was doing all different type of stuff in the last bits of it. But yeah, so this is pretty much the last bit. Let me see. Oh, I'm going through it right here. You see, I'm like all the, and then it was a lot of layers, like a lot of layers, okay? But that's pretty much it. You know, I think this is perfect timing. It's Earth Day today. It's it was the drawing for my Kickstarter book that's available. Link in the description. Definitely check it out. You know, I really need you guys' support getting this thing off the ground. So please help me out with that. Even as little as $1 would still help a lot. Okay. Of course, get the book. But if you can't get the book, a little of a donation will still help me get this off the ground. And maybe later you'll be ready to get the book. If you want to watch this video without my commentary, then you are in the wrong place, because there's already a video available. Okay, let me calm down. There's already a video available if you want to watch and just listen to this sick vibe beat by Asteknight. Asteknight killed this beat, and it fits so perfectly with the drawing. So look at the process without me talking. It's a little bit short of a video, and you can just take in the music, and you can leave a comment telling us how good that music is. Tell us about that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and push that notification button, because we got so much happening, especially in these next 30 days of the Kickstarter. But in general, we got a lot of good stuff coming. So get yourself ready for something good. Don't forget, I got this Cutt mug, which got the J here, and then the, I don't want to spell A here, which is the J for Cutt, A for Asteknight. Oh yes. Then we got the jacket, one for the J, there's another one for Asteknight. You see the back? Bam, bam. Come on now, jcutt.com, get yourself. There's a lot of other stuff there too, but get yourself something. Come on now, all this stuff, look at these posters. Except this one. This is not available. This is not available. But everything else, available. Jcutt.com. All right, y'all. I got other stuff I gotta do. See y'all. What are you doing? I know you're not about to leave without liking or sharing or something. I know you see that red button. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.